Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to do the next question of our agriculture optional answer writing practice series. जो हमारी एग्रीकल्चर ऑप्शनल आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस सीरीज चल रही है उसका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को आज हम लोग करने वाले हैं. एंड टुडेस क्वेश्चन इज राइट डाउन द consequences ऑफ सॉइल इरोजन ऑन इन्वायरमेंट. सॉइल इरोजन के क्या क्या कंसिक्वेंसेस है उनको हमें मेंशन करना है. सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन इज आस्किंग अबाउट enlist the various agronomic measures for soil and water conservation. क्या क्या agronomic measures हैं जिनको हम ले सकते हैं which we can use for the conservation of soil and water. Secondly, specify the role of cropping systems in controlling soil erosion and soil runoff and erosion, and what can the role a cropping system can play in controlling soil runoff and erosion. So this question was asked in IFOS examinations, that is Indian Forest Service examinations conducted by UPSC in 2022. That is जो एग्रीकल्चर ऑप्शनल पेपर है हमारा IFOS examinations का उसमें ये क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. So it becomes very important for us to see how to approach this type of question. And whenever it comes to soil erosion, it is very much asked in UPSC. काफी बार पूछा जा सकता है. Almost in every year you will see a question from soil erosion. Either they will ask about consequences, they will ask about effects, they will ask about types, water erosion, air erosion, many type. Either they can give you single type and let you tell you to discuss that type. So that is how they will ask questions. They will ask the measures to control soil erosion. So stages of soil erosion they can ask you from rail erosion, gully erosion. So these are some of the common questions which they ask as when it comes to soil erosion. So let's see how we approach the answer. So first of all, you all know that what soil erosion is. अब सब जानते हैं एग्रीकल्चर ऑप्शनल स्टूडेंट की soil erosion क्या है. When there is removal of topmost fertile layer of soil. When there is removal of topmost fertile layer of soil, and this can be through the action of air, through the action of water और अदर एक्शंस. ठीक है, जब भी सॉइल का टॉप मोस्ट लेयर रिमूव हो जाता है, जो टॉप मोस्ट फर्टाइल लेयर वो रिमूव हो जाता है, देन इट इज नोन एज सॉइल इरोजन. एंड इट इज वेरी इजी कॉन्सेप्ट. we all I think we all know that. Now let's move to the first part of the question, that is consequences of soil erosion. What are the consequences of soil erosion on consequences of soil erosion on environment पे क्या क्या soil erosion के consequences हैं. First of all, there will be the loss of fertile soil. The topmost fertile soil will be lost, and this fertile soil, this loss of fertile soil will let us to lower growth of crops, lower natural ecosystems. Nor अगर trees वगैरह भी हो रहे हैं तो that will also become lower trees, lower natural ecosystem, because all are dependent on this fertile soil for their nutrients, natural ecosystem. So this removal of top layer of soil, loss of fertile soil, will lead to reduced the growth of the crops, reduced growth of the trees, reduced natural ecosystem. So this is the first thing. Secondly, it will lead to decreased water quality. Our water quality will be decreased because sediment runoff from erosion can contaminate water bodies. The sediments which run off from the erosion and gets disposed to some water bodies that can contaminate those water bodies, that can contaminate or that can be very harmful for the aquatic life present in those water bodies. So it can have a great impact there. It can lead to increased flooding. Because whenever soil is eroded, the sediments go and settle down to the river bed. Suppose this is a river bed, and due to erosion the sediments are going to settle in the river beds. Then what happens? The chances of flooding, because the lower portions of the bed will be filled with the sediments, the chances of flooding will be increased, and this flooding will damage our ecosystems, damage infrastructure, damage ecology. So that is another problem, and these things will lead to the loss of biodiversity. This is how you need to connect dots. We all know that there is loss of fertile soil, but how these fertile soils we are connecting it to different points, that is how we have to answer the questions. Because whenever you connect the dots, there is a flow in your answer. So examiner will always like your answer because you will maintain a certain flow and you will fetch good marks. The biodiversity will be lost due to these consequences. Next, and overall it can also lead to climate change, because we all know that soil is a great sequester of carbon. Soil helps in carbon sequestration, but what happens when the soil is lost? There is also emissions of carbon from the lost soil. सॉइल क्या होता है कि कार्बन काफी अच्छे अमाउंट में सिक्वेस्टर करता है, जब भी सॉइल का लूज होता है, चाहे वो टीलेज से हो चाहे वो इरोजन से हो, इसीलिए वी ऑल नो दैट ड्यू टू टीलेज देयर इज आल्सो इमिशंस इन ऑफ ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस. तो इससे क्या होगा कि जब भी कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेशन होता है तो अगर सॉइल लॉस्ट होता है तो उसके साथ क्या होता है, जो कार्बन इमिशन है वो भी बढ़ते हैं. ठीक है, सो दिस इज द another thing which can lead to climate change. So this is the some of the common points through which soil erosion can highly impact our environment. The second part of the question is asking about various agronomic measures for soil and water conservation. So in the question you can see that we have to just enlist the agronomic measures. Enlist means we have to not explain that much, we have to just list it 1 2 3 4 what are the agronomic measures. So we will see the various agronomic measures for soil and water conservation. What could be those agronomic measures? First of all, crop rotation, one of the best measure. Through crop rotation we are able to conserve our soil, we can conserve our water. Second agronomic measure, we can use cover crops. They help us to reduce erosion and conserve the moisture in our soil, because say suppose this is a soil and we have a cover crop out here, so the moisture inside the soil, inside in the layers down to the cover crop will be conserved, the soil will be covered so it will not lead to erosion. Next, we can do contour farming, because what happens in slopes, suppose this is slope and whenever water moves through these slopes it will lead to erosion, but when you will do contour farming, we make the farming into contours, this water erosion will be reduced and our soil will be saved, and the water which is been losing through the runoff will also be conserved, and that can be used in the agriculture practices very nicely. Contour farming, we can do terracing. One thing you should know that what is the difference between contour farming and terracing. The major difference is that contour farming is done in gentle slopes and that in terracing the slopes are more steep as compared to contour farming. Okay, तो ये आपको ध्यान रखना है, जो contour farming हम लोग gentle slopes में करते हैं और terracing is a more steep slope as compared to contour farming. तो इसमें क्या करते हैं हम वैसे से terrace में रूप में अपने fields को कर देते हैं, कब बना देते हैं, we make our fields such as terrace and we do farming here, and it also helps to reduce the intensity of water flowing, which helps in conservation of both water and soil. We can do strip cropping, we can do mulching. We all know what mulching is. Mulching can be done to conserve both soil and moisture. Use of conservation tillage, we can use agroforestry, doing agroforestry, because we all know how trees are important for conserving both soil and water. So these are some of the common agronomic measures through which we can conserve both our soil and water. So this was the second part of the question. In the third part they are asking about role of cropping systems in controlling soil runoff and erosion. We all know that role of cropping systems can directly impact our soil. Suppose we are doing rice cropping system, for example. So we all know that in the water intensive cropping system, rice will take so much nutrients from our crops, from our soil, so it will leads to loss of soil fertility, also loss of erosion also, and due to high intensive use of water in the water, it will leads to high use of water, and this will also lead to high amount of water erosion of soil. So these are the things, that is how a cropping pattern impact our soil runoff and erosion. So how can we improve our cropping pattern? What are the roles of cropping pattern? First of all, we will focus highly on continuous cover crops. Cropping patterns which include these cover crops are always very good for our soil. Secondly, we will use the crops which have good root development, because the crops with good root development, including those crops in our cropping pattern which have good root development, will hold the soil together, and due to good root development they will able to conserve the moisture and extract the moisture from lower parts of the soil also, and there will be equitable extraction of moisture, which will be very helpful for the soil. So use of crops with good good root development. You will also have to use crop residue management properly, because these residues can be used for mulching and other things. So crop residue management is properly, instead of burning the crops or wasting the residues, we have to do this residue management properly. We can focus on zero budget natural farming, involving the cropping systems with zero budget natural farming, organic farming. So these are the things, if we include these things in our cropping systems, they will be very helpful. We can also do contour and strip farming, cropping systems with contour and strip farming, especially in areas where the soil is more prone to erosion. So this can be done. Conservation tillage is another thing which we need to do. Use of diversified cropping pattern, so that the requirements from the soil is varied. In monocropping, what happens, single crop always extracts a single type of nutrients, a same amount of water from the soil, which leads the soil in the deficiency of the nutrients and loss of water. So when you use diversified cropping pattern, suppose we are using rice, we are using millets, in that season we are using vegetables, so these all crops will extract different types of material from the soil. And also the water requirement, suppose the millets, the water requirement of millets is low, rice is intensively high requirement of water, rice takes high requirement of water. So in rice season the water will take in a high amount, but in millet season that the where the amount of water extracted will be low, so the soil will get the time to replenish this water. So that is why diversified cropping system is very helpful for conservation of soil erosion, conservation of soil and reduce runoff erosion. So these are some of the important points which I have mentioned, which I hope you are able to understand, and this is how you can approach this answer. So this is all for today. So please do write a good answer using these concepts and these points. It is all for today. Please do like, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis. And if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you on regular basis. And I am also making a write-up for the prelims for agriculture, the most important topics of agriculture for prelims, and that will be, I will taking the classes on 2nd or 3rd of June, so that in 15 days you get to revise the videos of the classes. And I will also put the write-up into the telegram section, so that you can revise it from there also. And that will be, I will doing on 2nd or 3rd of June, so that you get in 15 days, and it will be very crisp and concise, so that only important topics which have the more weightage in the exam will be provided to you. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.